What up, y'all? It's your boy James, and you watch my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews, where I'm here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not gonna happen this video. And joining me is my girl, Mrs. Best. Y'all know who she is. We love her. She over there getting it down on her channel. Y'all make sure y'all watch all of her recaps. She has a bunch of shows going on, some of which where I am her co-star on her channel. So make sure you are subscribed to both of us, like the videos, comment with us. We do interact, we do engage with you guys. So come on over, y'all. Like, especially if you like what you see. And shout out to the regulars that join us on the chat. We enjoy you. We look forward to seeing you all here as well. Shout out to people who comment after the fact and watch the replay. Thank you. We appreciate it. Building this channel up is hard, especially because we feel like we don't get nowhere, but you know, we do the best we can. Mrs. Best, how you doing today?
I'm alive, I'm black, and I'm here.
That's right. That's all that matters. Yes. Can you hear me okay?
I can, very
Okay.
clear.
I was having sound issues a little bit, so I was like, oh shit. But anyways, y'all, this is Belle Collective season 4, episode 4. It was a very dull episode.
Oh, damn.
It was very dull. Belle Collective got boring all of a sudden. Where is the action?
I think that they were focused too hard on Tambra's pregnancy and probably wanting to be on TV for that. I feel like that's the only reason they split the season like they did and then called it a new season with no form of promo.
Right. It's
Or
weird because I thought they were continuing from the last season, but someone told me no, this is considered season 4. I'm like, well, what the hell? Okay. So y'all, the episode opens up where the last one left off, which is with Glendale over there doing his rap for Letitia. And when I tell y'all I was Willie face through the entire time, Willie's face was hilarious while Glenn was doing that rap. I was like, yes, Willie, me and you are just alike because I promise you, I don't know what the hell that rap was. And I want y'all, rapping is not for everybody. It is not for everybody. It's not for everybody to do. Just because you can write it doesn't mean you need to be the one facilitating it. Sell it, make some money off of it, get your royalties, and get a good lawyer behind you, and just do that. Like, that's not for everybody. What did you think about Glenn's rap?
well,
She couldn't even give us. Mind you, guys, this is the one who does music reviews on her channel. So I'm questioning her because that is the stipulation of her whole Mrs. Best
listen,
network over there.
I don't like that his name is Glendale, for one. I've just been wanting to say that. I don't like that. Here's the thing. My husband's a rapper. He's 33. He says he does it for fun. Rapping actually and music saved his life, but he also makes beats and stuff. Glenn, it looks like just rap. Every time I hear Glenn rap, it does not give. It gives like, you know, when the older people who used to perform back in the day, like
Mm-hmm.
Biz Marquis, R.I.P., Dougie Fresh, like the
Oh, she going
OGs,
way. You going way back there?
Big
Okay.
Daddy Kane, all the people. Glendale belongs in that age range. However, comma, I don't think that's a good age to like start rap. Rap, pop, usually they want you at a younger age. Now,
Right.
my biggest concern with the rap is like, so you pretty much just wrote all your business down on a piece of paper and wrote down all the ways that you want to say sorry and wish that she would just forgive and then put a beat to it. Great beat, by the way. Shout out to the producer. But then ruin the beat. The whole event was weird. Her choosing to read that section of the book where it's like talking shit about her marriage. Like, what's wrong with them? They are proof that in America, you do not need intelligence or a degree to make it. Glendale and Letitia Pearson, I said it.
Right. It was.
'Cause what the hell? They're embarrassing their own relationship. Like, stop, Glenn. Stop. Don't trust JJ either. Because JJ wants to tell him, oh, you know, I support him. And now he performing a song, got darn times 12. And I just don't think you should trust the opinion of a man who has the hair of a 5-year-old girl in the hood. So, yeah.
Well, there you have it, y'all. Damn. That was a read. Okay.
What wasn't a read? It's just, and I'm
The
not even
girl,
trying to
that was
be.
a read.
He
Anyway.
should rap because he cares about it. But they keep trying to put this on us. his rap career.
Yeah, I agree with that. They are trying to push this on us and push this like, oh, follow up, arrangement that's never too late to follow your career path of what you would like to do, which it isn't. I'm an author. And people might say I'm not the best author in the world. So, it's a catch 22.
You're a good author.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So the next thing that we see is actually Akeisha and Willie meeting up with Marie and Essie. Now, Marie and Essie throw this gala-ish for Lupus Foundation-esque kind of event every year. And Willie and Akeisha decided to partner up with them because Willie lost his mother to lupus. And they actually engage in telling the story about it. And what we understand is that Willie's mother, for the longest time, did not know she had lupus because lupus is actually not that old of an illness, unfortunately. It's something that was newly discovered probably less than 25 years ago. I believe that's when it was, when they newly discovered. It was like the 90s. I remember that.
And then it affects a lot of people of color are impacted by it. And it's an autoimmune disease for those who do not know. Mm-hmm. So usually autoimmune diseases can be difficult to even diagnose because they show and present themselves from other symptoms. Right. At least that's what they told us in school. Okay, I am not a damn doctor. But that's sad. I didn't know that his mom passed from lupus.
Yeah, his mother passed from lupus. And I believe they say Willie has lupus as well. I know Marie and Essie do. I'm gonna have to rewatch the episode because now I'm blanking. I think that they said that he has lupus as well. I could be spacing on that. But they start tasting the food and that they're going to serve at the event. They're taste testing. And Willie brings up that we should have Tambra promote the event so we could sell more tickets. And when he said that, Marie just gave a look. And this is what I be talking about with Marie. Because Tambra has a syndicated radio show or works for a syndicated radio show, and you have a connect to her, regardless of what you have on the side. I don't feel, and I say a lot of things about Tambra. I do, y'all. I'm not a Tambra fan, but I really think that she would have done this solely because of the cause. I don't think that she would side-eye it or whatever, thoughts that Marie had in her head about Tambra in that moment. So, honestly, I don't know.
The cast of Belle Collective, from what I've gathered in my own personal opinion, seems to be willing, most of them, to put their differences aside to help a good cause, which I think is important, especially for Jackson. I have family down there, so they need, no shade, all the help they can get. It's just a place that's behind, in my opinion. But I don't like Marie or So Gucci for how they behave when it comes to, what do they call it, philanthropic work, giving back,
like philanthropy work and everything.
Yeah, like anything they do to give back, I feel like is not genuine. I feel like they're doing it because of how people will perceive them, and it shows, and that gets confirmed when you see Marie make faces and do stuff like that. Like, I'm sorry, you have a facility, you're very educated, no matter how we feel about Marie and her finger wave. She is educated and she does a lot of good, but she will ignore good for beefs with bitches. And I just don't like that.
I don't either. And that's a good point to bring up because she does. And we almost feel like she does it in a way where it's like high school. I want to bully the young lady that is prettier than me or has the more flyer lifestyle than I have, even though I may be richer than she is. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of gives
very jealous on a materialistic type of way. Like, I know Marie knows that she's smart and has confidence. I feel like she's a mean girl. That's the best.
Very much so. She is a mean girl, and it's like I can't get with Marie. I just cannot, because it just comes across as, volatile and just hatred. And who wants to sit there and watch that all day? Like, nobody does. So moving forward from there, Akeisha meets up with Tambra. They go to the gym and work out. Akeisha, if we know from last season, was suffering from high blood pressure and has to get on, stricter diet, has to exercise just to keep her blood pressure down. We know that she was trying to work out with Gucci. We don't know where that went. So she asked Tambra to work out with her. And Tambra's like, cool, we will go work out. So Tambra shows up, and I told y'all, Tambra walk in laughing. Tambra sounds like an Azuzu trying to cold start that lost his fuel pump. She just does. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh my God, get her off my screen. I don't like Tambra, but hearing that laugh just makes it worse, y'all. But she goes to the gym with Aikisha, and they, do the Soul Cycle-esque kind of thing. And then when they stop, she was telling Tambra's son Aikisha about, her journey with the fibroid surgery and how they were going through it. And Aikisha said, yeah, I did IVF as well. And I think Aikisha said she had 8 miscarriages. I said, God damn. Now, ladies, I know I'm a man, and I know this should not be coming from me. I get women who desire to have babies. I totally understand wanting to carry, but I feel like after 5, hang it up, because emotionally, that is such a hard thing to do, both physically and emotionally. And mind you, these ladies, I joke about Tambra being 55. I know they're in their mid 40s. I get it. But, Tambra still look 55 to me. I'm sorry, she does. But these women are old. And when you're older like that, you high risk pregnancies, that's tough. So, I kind of wish that, on certain things that women would stop, doing that emotionally and putting themselves through that, because you could put yourself at higher risk. Luckily, Tambra had her baby girl and everything worked out fine. So we were happy. But that is what she's sharing the news for. She shared with Aikisha that she is in fact pregnant. And I give Aikisha a lot of grief on this show, but I feel like her response to Tambra's pregnancy was very genuine, because this is someone she went to high school with. So, I can feel about that. How did you feel about Tambra breaking news to Aikisha?
I think whenever people on any show get married, have children, or deal with death, like the things that impact us the most emotionally, that's when you find out who's really fucks with each other and who doesn't. Like on screen, off screen, all of that. Because Tambra was not interested in calling Latrice, who is the only person she really been hanging out with.
Right.
She went to this person. So I definitely think real moments pull out the real relationships. I really can't complain. I don't really have too much negative to say about Tambra, other than the fact that her voice is annoying and her wigs look heavy. But other than that, I don't mind her. I guess maybe she's a little boring on the show. I don't know.
I don't know if it's so much that she's boring. It's just that there's too much of her and not enough of everybody else. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. It's just, we're not getting everybody else. And I think that it's drying us out with all of her storylines. So moving on from there, one of my favorite scenes of this whole damn show, we get the scene with Willie, JJ, Glenn, and Cliff. So, y'all, I'm sorry, but this scene killed me for so many different reasons. I laughed until I cried. But Willie gets there first, and he, is pulling out this cigar. They're at a cigar lounge. Cliff gets there next, and, they're talking, and, mentors, and then in comes in JJ. So when JJ gets there, it's hard to really distinguish him and Cliff's relationship, because him and Cliff have a long history. Now, mind you, Selena, which is JJ's ex-wife, who fought his current wife, had an affair with Cliff while the two were married. So it's very weird, because, yes, that's a Jackson too small for it to be so big. Because I'm like, well, damn, out of all men in the world, but okay, Selena. Hey. So they begin talking about So Gucci's party and the stripper things. Willie wants to know, why did Cliff wake Glenn out of his sound sleep to tell him about what Letitia was doing at the party? And, JJ was feeling the type of way, because he goes, you over there trying to ruin everybody's relationship. I know that, we had our situation, but, you didn't have to do that. You ain't no friends, no Cliff. And the whole time, Cliff is just smiling. And the end walks in Glenn on cue. Now, JJ I think was trying to reason with him to say, "Hey, this really is not your friend sitting next to you. Like he's trying to sabotage your relationship and make you, hey, Naya, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. We miss you over here." We was like, "Where's she at? Where's she at?" But but going with it, JJ to me, it was he was trying to reason with Glenn, but Glenn just smiling. And I'm sorry, y'all have to say this. I know this. I might catch hell for this, but it's given allegedly these two are fucking.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Watch your mouth with your
Right.
review. I wasn't expecting you to say that at all.
I'm sorry, but it's given that claim, like to me, and I said allegedly, y'all. I'm not saying this is real, but something is wrong
Take
here.
out my ponytail. I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting.
something is
That's what
wrong
he
here.
said.
Like I, I'm sorry, and I'm not the other person who feels like this. Like a lot of other YouTubers are saying the exact same thing. Like it's
Here's
given
the
their
thing. It's a little feminine. It's a little feminine. The way that they're acting. Like when I think of men in their little friend groups, I just like my husband. I had asked him, I was like, "Would you talk to your friend?" It's like, nah. The way dudes are, the situation's over. We moved on. We having our drinks. And then I'm looking and I'm like, for JJ to bring it up was weird because it didn't really, though it was a party he threw for So Gucci, that party has been done, dead, over with. So, like, why are y'all talking about it? For one. And then two, I hate that JJ kind of made me not side with Cliff, but why are you coming for this man at your like man luncheon? Like you and your wife got to figure out your life because obviously, like you just said, there's a jealousy issue. You feel some type of way because he slept with the woman you actually love, and then So Gucci got a beef with Selena be, just because she's the ex-wife. And you would think, being a single mom, that she would be more understanding and cognizant of having peace in the situation. And she does everything she can to escalate it, calling the police, all of that. I'm not saying what happened is right or wrong, but it's giving JJ and So Gucci might have a trauma bond of bitterness. And because they do so much time talking about other people's stuff. I'm like, what's going on in y'all relationship? Because you was just cussing out and bitching about his mama. So if
Mm.
you do that, and you'll call the police on the mother of, his ex, like, what are y'all doing? Like, move on or have a threesome, but do something. I'm tired
I
of
have a threesome, girl.
it.
Yeah, I can't with her. She talk about me. But anyways, no, and I to some extent I do agree. It's like I understand where JJ was coming from, but at the same time, it's like, who the hell cares? Let him sabotage his own relationship because it's clear as day, Letitia's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So why even stress yourself out? You and your little ponytails. I understand why are you stressing yourself out over this when if that's what he wants to do, that's what he's going to do. And like I said, Cliff and Glenn, I'm watching y'all because y'all look suspect as hell to me. I'm sorry.
I don't think they
I
like each other like that. I really feel like what you said about Selena is probably the case there. I don't think Cliff gives a damn. It looked like JJ's the one with the problem. Everybody else just sat there and was ready to kick it.
No, and I agree. It does give like, why do you care so much?
Mm.
And Willie, you too. Why do you care what this friendship looks like? You know, Cliff is messy. Cliff is messy. That's what he is. So it's like, why even care? But I'm sorry, me and her, we could be agreeing to disagreeing, but I feel like I know what I'm looking at here. I know a lot of people don't like to think those things, but I really feel like any man can do that. Y'all know how. For those of you who don't know me, I feel like sexuality is a context relative. And what a context relative means is that it really, honestly, is not something that is standard or something that is, oh, it has to be this way, otherwise it cannot result into this. I'm not one of those people. I feel
Mhm.
like you honestly can meet somebody and they can change your whole perspective of what you like. They can. People have that influence on you, and it actually can be very strong. It's called kinetic energy. It's something that we all have, and if we use it to our advantages, you can manipulate someone, or not manipulate, but encourage someone to do something that they probably would not have done had they not made. We're all guilty of it. We all have done it, I'm sure. But moving on from there, let's see. I wanted because I really ain't trying to talk about this next scene in the context of being mean, but I have to because it's one of those situations where I expected this out of Marie, but at the same time, I want to deem her as the professional that she is.
Why did Marie give up on the gel for her finger waves?
I don't know.
It was just
I
dry hair on
It's
top
just
of her
dry.
head.
Yeah, it just look. Yeah, like she could have spiked it or did something. But Aikisha meets up with Marie, and this was such a bad look for me. That's why I'm trying not to. Because lupus is a serious, guys. Lupus is a very serious situation. I don't want people to think that I'm making light of this. But when I watched this scene, I was like, "Oh, Marie, no, this is not what I needed you to do in this moment." So Aikisha meets up with Marie because Aikisha has sold her tables as she promised. So she meets up with Marie to get an idea of where they are so far on the guest count, so that way they can try to proceed forward. Marie don't know nothing. This is all S. This is Marie. Well, Essie takes care of everything. I just write the check. I don't handle the food count. I don't do the decorating. I don't do the tables. I don't do anything. I just write the check. I said, Marie,
What are you doing now in your
right.
office before she came in? Is that why your desk is so empty? I've always noticed that every time we see Marie in that damn office, her desk is empty.
No, what it is was other YouTubers was reading her for filth how she ain't had no computer and nothing in that first season. So now she trying to upgrade and has a really big ass long computer. We see you, Marie. We see you. But like Mrs. Best said, what do you do?
I mean, Marie's background and degree is in mental health, right? What is her degree in? Because depending on what her degree is in, like
Well, I have to look that up because I don't even know.
she
But my
runs
whole
like mental health center. The reason I ask, it really doesn't matter. Whatever your degree is in, if you have a 4-year college degree, then I know for a fact that you have education and training on administrative work, office work. You're trained in Microsoft Office, the whole suite, baby, the whole suite. You're trained in problem solving, conflict resolution, de-escalation, especially if it's a mental health, which she's running mental health center. So she should know how to do it. It bothers me a little bit, especially if you're going to own or run something. Like you have to be consistent and know how to do every job, even if it's not what you're going to do on a
this
day.
is my whole thing, and this is why I said I don't want to talk about it like this because I know how serious this illness is.
It has
You
nothing to
know,
do with
I
the illness.
But
There,
my thing is the foundation that Aikisha came to talk about was for the foundation. And for Marie to sit there, who actually has lupus, to sit there and say, well, I don't know anything, I don't do anything, I just write the check. It's
well,
like,
I mean, people who have
why would
lupus
you
are
not
also
want?
supposed to not stress themselves out and avoid confrontation, but Marie runs toward it. So,
Right, exactly my point. Yes, exactly my point. And that's why I said it was disappointing to see her in this conversation with this lady that she's agreed to partner with for this foundation, and Aikisha held up her end of the bargain, but you don't know where your end of the bargain is because you put the sole responsibility on your business partner. That is crazy to me. Like y'all, when I watched this scene, I was like,
worst kind of leader. I don't care if you
right.
work in retail or if you're a corporate fucking attorney. A good leader should know how to do the job of everybody under them at the
Well,
minimum.
first of all, you're saying you write the check, so you have that much like confidence and trust in Essie that you don't want to see where your money is being spent.
And you knew Essie wasn't available because she put you in place to cover the meeting. So why didn't you ask Essie if there was anything you needed to know for the meeting? I find
Absolutely.
it
I mean,
very hard to believe the way that Essie is that she wouldn't have given the lowdown on the meeting.
that's what I'm saying. That makes me feel like Marie is. I feel like Marie's not being honest. I feel
That's
like
why production
Marie
showed that shit. Cause Marie, oh, she irks my soul for
because you
this.
need to tell me this lady has to work for you, throw the event. plan it, decorate it, make sure the caterers are hired. You mean she has to do all that on top of work for you, and you just sit there and write the check? It's given, a misogynistic dad who just all he has to feel like he has to do is work, pay the bills, but you got to take care of the kids. You got to cook the food. You got to wash the dishes. Then when he come home, then you got to fuck him. Then you got to, do the laundry. Like, I'm serious. You got to do all this shit on one person. That's too much. You
Listen,
got to
all
make sure the
I
kids do their
know
homework.
is
It's like
she's
you can't.
close with
Yeah.
Letitia. And when I was watching this show to prep for the recaps, because I watched the seasons before to prep for this to do with James, I'm trying to tell y'all right now. All I can say is anybody very close to Letitia or cool with Letitia, I don't trust their business. Now, y'all may feel like she's successful. She got her book. Listen, Donald Trump became president. We can all do anything, okay? So I'm noticing if Letitia has an event, something wrong with the food, they're all crammed in and they mad at the person for being unprofessional when they should be mad at the person who actually offended them people. Then you got Marie throwing events for disease that she has, putting no fucking care into it, which is weird. Then you got So Gucci. Nobody ain't seen her sell shit except for on one episode of
Well,
House
we can
Hunters.
thank the Lord for small favors because I didn't want to see her this episode, so that's fine. But yeah, like I said, to end this scene with Marie, I'm disappointed because for someone who there's no way I could have a disease. I'm throwing a foundation benefit for it, and I have no part in it except for writing the check. When this is something I have, this is something that she even said on this camera could have killed her because she was so sick. So why would you not want to take part more other than provide the money for the event? And Marie, yeah, this thing just that's what I said. I really didn't want to talk because I don't want to make light of it. Like I didn't want to make fun of it because it really disappointed me that she took that stance when she's had a hand in all the other things, like when Letitia showed her that house that she was trying to get for, the people who are mentally disabled and cannot really fundamentally live on their own. She was all a part in that. She met up with Akeisha and Willie to taste the food and everything. She was a very big part of that. So when Akeisha comes to you with this event and then you're talking about, "Oh, I don't know anything," it's like, but you were present for everything else. Why would you not know anything?
I feel
So,
like the presence, if you look at those other scenes you brought up, I don't think Marie is as prepped as she makes it seem. And we do see her in scrubs a lot. I feel like she's one of those like frontline workers, probably working with patients, but I don't feel like she's very good with anything clerical or administrative. I just don't. And
so you basically saying she Lady Eloise and Boomerang is what you're saying.
literally, quite literally, when you saw that
Oh, okay.
her around the house with Letitia, there was other people doing work. It don't take nothing for nobody to pick up a phone book, go on Yelp or Google to call, "Hey, you have 5 stars here. I need to hire you for this." All she got to do, like she said, is sign a damn check. She probably sticks more to one-on-one patient care and
Which is
signing
fine. Which is fine, y'all.
checks.
I'm not
Nothing's wrong with
disputing it. Yeah.
that, but people gonna talk about it when you make yourself out to be this big boss and you put others down to do that, and that's what Marie does. So that's probably why production showed it too, because you got something to say about everybody. Boo, you come for everybody and everybody's event, what they do. Now something that should be so important to you, you just know nothing on, and you think we just gonna let you get away with it, girl? You better go find some pro style and some sense because it's not making sense. But
Not at all, y'all. Crazy scene. So I got through it, y'all, because I was like, it was hard for me because I wanted to read Maria. I really did because this was ridiculous. But Akeisha go do that next episode, and I can't wait to watch because they're gonna get into it, and I can't wait to see it. So the last scene, y'all, we have Letitia and Glenn. They have agreed to do a commercial for a local bank that is a black bank. It has black owners. So the owners are in Letitia's, living room having a conversation with her. Glenn walks in late and he sits down, makes pleasantries, but not even a minute into this conversation, he pulls Letitia to the side. And so they excuse themselves very rudely by the ad you because them people were confused as hell. They were like, "What the hell's going on?" And he takes Letitia into a room and he goes, "Hey, your lawyer didn't call my lawyer. I don't like how this contract looks." And I said, "See, here we go. Here we go with the fuck shit, y'all. Here we go with this shit." So he goes,
you got there on time, Glenn. You probably could have known and seen that before.
He goes, yeah, and then like, but he says, why are you making more? Why is all the royalties going to you? And why hasn't your lawyer came to my lawyer with the negotiation of the contract? Letitia's caught off guard. She goes, Glenn, why would you worry about that? Why would you think I would take from you? And when as soon as he mentioned Cliff's name, she was like, oh, here we go. And I said, now, Glenn, why would you mention that man's name like this? Why would you mention this man's name? Y'all are in a, you know, this is going to set her off. The owners of the banks are literally in the next room over. They can hear y'all. And y'all going to do this now? I was so mad looking at this scene. I said, see, Letitia, this is what you get. This is what you get. Because instead of you actually making some attempts to create some boundaries and see that this man means you nothing but control and harm, you sitting up here aggravating yourself and now going to make a fool of yourself in front of these people.
I don't think he means her any harm. Like, yeah, he's done some fucked up stuff in their marriage. That's clear. But I'm also a firm believer in relationships that people do what you allow them to do. If you forgive nefarious activities, protect him from the public by keeping shit a secret till you done with him and all of that, like, what do you expect? He gonna behave a certain way. The other thing too is just being someone who is married. It is different from just living somebody and paying bills with them. Like, when you're married, your income does become one usually, and I assume because they're in the South, they probably tried in their little brains to have some form of traditional marriage. However, comma, Glenn, you came in late because of your fashions. Whack. Letitia, you allowed the whole meeting and whatnot to start when you could have simply said, I'm so sorry, just give me a few more minutes. You don't just go into a business meeting without your partner there knowing fully what's going on with the business. They should have talked as a couple ahead of time to understand the figures and stuff. My husband has worked for me before. I have made more than him. I got bonuses, all that. That's mine. Shit. But he never like asked or made like a big deal of it because most people understand if that's how they do it in their relationship. Like, either their money is their money, or what he makes, what I make is coming to the same household, and we know it's going to help each other. So why does the percentage matter? If you get what I'm trying to say.
I feel like since she's been on the show and makes her own money, I feel like that's when it became an issue because solely base, I don't feel like before because I would have agreed with you had they not been on this show. I would have agreed with you. But the reason why I cannot 100% agree with you, I feel like because she's on the show and endorsement deals are probably rolling in for her. And when she decides to include him, then yes, she's the face of the show because, mind you, first two seasons, there was no opening credits with them together as a couple. The opening credits was mainly just her. The show started on the premises of her. So, of course, the deals are going to roll in. And I feel like that's just an added to your household if she's the sole name and she cuts you a piece of cut. Because at the end of the day, they reached out to her 9 out of 10 before they reached out to you. She just included it on you because she felt like, hey, it's better if we're a couple going through this. But at the same time, see, I would have said, excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Bank owner, I'm sorry, but we just going to have to do this as me looking like a single person right now because the couple person in us cannot agree on this right now. And I don't want to mess up. I want to make sure I fulfill my obligations. Y'all can just write this check out to me since he want to play. I don't have time for the foolishness. So yes, that's exactly what happened. But first of all, I wouldn't have had him in this shit in the first damn place. Let me make
It
my own
still
shit.
stands though, as a married couple, regardless if they're on a fucking show or not. That's something that should have been discussed ahead of time. What people don't understand, like Letitia and Glenn, they are the example of people who make a mockery, in my opinion, of Black love and Black marriages. Okay, there are people who are married and Black and successful who understand communication. It's a part of it. If you're going to do any type of a deal, even if your man's not signing on the dotted line or the woman, you're going to talk to your partner about it. They should know what's going on. He's concerned about arriving fashionably late. She's concerned about looking for a boss. And I personally place both of them at fault. It's up to
Oh,
each of
definitely.
them
No, I
to do it. But I can understand also, even though Glenn has cheated and done some fucked up stuff, You did just take a step in the last season and have your friend get you a whole apartment and place to live separate from him. So he don't know that y'all gonna stay together. So his percentage in that instance does matter. What I have a question for is this bank. Y'all couldn't ask no other couple? I know there's some more people in Mississippi.
I was just finna say
Like,
that same thing.
you
You
go
took
for
the words right
Letitia
out of my
and
thought. Because
Glenn.
when I tell y'all, I said Letitia and Glenn of all people.
Of the, like the worst couple, and this has nothing to do with blackness. This has nothing to do with the South. They're like the worst couple you could have asked to
That's
do.
why I said, like, Carlos, own network's call center. Is this real? Or did y'all hire somebody? Because first of all, did they ever say the name of the bank?
I think Carlos is trying to make Belle Collective into a cheap ass knockoff of the Housewives. Personally, like
No,
that's been my opinion watching this show because I, as someone newer coming to it, I did binge watch a bunch of seasons, and it seemed like it was originally about these women, Southern Belles, as a collective and what they do. It seemed to be less about their marriages and love and stuff. Now I can't get a damn episode without seeing their old ass husbands. I don't care for any of the husbands. That's
well,
just personal.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
I'm like,
y'all,
what are we doing?
if y'all know about this bank, put it in my comments. I would love to research. And also, if anyone has a link to their commercial, let me see it because I would love to see what it came out to be. Other than that, I have nothing else. And as I said, Belle Collective was a better season one with Dr. Antoinette and the racist ass white lady. I would rather see that than this at this point because this is crazy. But this was Belle Collective, y'all. That was it. It was an okay episode. I, think next week's episode will be better. We're about to head on over to my next live, which is Real Housewives of Potomac. You do not want to miss this because I am going to make a PSA, public service announcement for Real Housewives of Potomac going forward. So make sure you guys make it on over there. We will see you in the next review, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.